Ready?
I am.
Brewski?
Drink it in.
Goodbye, Mom!
No, what am I saying?
What, this? It's nothing. Really, it's nothing. It's just, it's just vocal minority with Nick and Steve.
We're about ready to get this bitch started.
We are. It's really going to happen.
Yeah, it's time. We need to do it to save the world.
I don't know if we're ready. I don't think I can do it.
I'm about to get real angry. We need to start the show.
I put all my faith in your offering.
Give me a countdown, please.
You heard him, Samuel. Do it now.
A 1, a 2,
A 1, 2, 3, 4.
We found the groove. Have a good time. Make sure your seatbelts are fastened.
Okay, you little bastards. The time has come. The moment we've all been waiting for. It's the vocal minority with Nick and Steve a la Brewski. Let's go.
Hey, dude, the show that saved the world. I mean, did you ever think it could possibly be the vocal minority with Nick and Steve a la Brewski that would do it? It's possible.
I did not think that at all. No.
You didn't think that when we went on the air, we would save the world. This program.
We saved our world? Did we save the world?
Dude, give yourself a little credit here. Well, I mean, this is a huge project. You don't think we save the world each and every day? We're in it?
I do now that you've put that in my head.
Yes,
I think we're heroes.
dude. Stand up and be proud of who you are and what you do. We save the world.
There you go. You're welcome, humanity. You're welcome.
Yes. Welcome to the vocal minority with Nick and Steve a la Brewski. Brewski, how are you?
I'm doing fantastic, thanks.
Well, thanks for helping us save the world, dude.
Doing what I can, my man. Doing what I can.
People owe us a lot. Is it that much to ask to listen to the show? I mean, come on. Spread the good word out there, people.
Yeah. You can see our webpage, thevocalminority.net. All our socials are there. Take a look and see what you think and communicate with the show and tell us that we're great. Okay?
That's the idea.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just that simple. Thanks for tuning in.
Fragile egos around here.
Yes.
We just constantly seek external validation.
Yeah, come on, dude. We need to be told once in a while.
A little bubble wrap, keep it safe.
Yes.
We're here for you. All right. Well, speaking of saving the world and living a good life and all that kind of stuff, I feel like I've lived a well-rounded life. I'm 47 years old, and I think I've had a lot of experiences in this world. I think I've done some cool things, had some adventures.
Sure.
But I stumbled across an article here this week talking about, things that we all assume everyone has done, but apparently most of us have not actually ever done these things. And made me wonder, how many things on the list have I done? Do I assume Nick and Brewski have done these things?
That's interesting because, I think I get what you're talking about. There are things that I think I've never done that, but I'm sure most people have, like zip-lined, bungee
seen in
jumps.
movies and TV all the time. So someone's doing these things.
Someone's doing it. Yeah.
So I don't know if this is a list to gauge, like a bucket thing for you. If you haven't done these things, you should be. Or if you should feel good about yourself if you have, you elitist pig. Your money travels of the world. So,
how many thumbtacks do you have in your map, you bastard?
Exactly. So yeah, this is an article from Michelle Harler from something called Guide to Free, which who knows what that is. But these are things you assume that everyone has done, but few actually have. First one on the list, scuba diving. I have never gone scuba diving. I've done some snorkeling. I've done some free diving, but I've never gone scuba diving. I've never put the respirator thing in my mouth and actually gone down like that.
You've not gone down like that. Thanks for your distinction, dude.
I put other things in my mouth and gone down other ways. But
Brewski, have you ever been scuba diving?
I have not. No.
All right. Scuba Steve. I have not been scuba diving either.
I assumed you had been on some of your tropical getaways or something.
I would be down for it. Rachel apparently went scuba diving one time 25 years ago or something like that, and it was at a resort type of these places, and she said she almost died. So she won't ever do it with me, and I can't expect her to. Freaked her out, so.
Well, how did she almost die?
I don't know.
Heart attack, or is she just going to breathe in the respirator thing?
Breathing death. Cause of death, breathing, lack thereof. Yeah. Right. I think that's a situation you have to think about when you go to some of these resorts and they're like, yeah, we can take you scuba diving. And it's just old janky hotel equipment, and the guy that's teaching you probably was wasted teaching a polka class last night too. You know what I mean? So yes. I don't think it was real trustworthy all the time.
Have you seen some of those really high-end resorts have these things now that you sit on top of, almost like a motorcycle kind of, and you put your feet on it and you're in a helmet that's pumping oxygen inside of it and that sort of thing. And that little thing propels you around under the water. Now, would that still be considered scuba diving, or is that kind of like cheating?
It was a little cheating, but isn't that the original scuba diving? The old guys would put that big helmet on, and they were just inside the helmet, right? I mean,
yeah. No, I think if you did that, but yeah, you're right. I mean, a lot of people either get in, start doing that, in their hobby, spare time, or you're going to do it on like a trip where you have the opportunity to do it. Otherwise, you got to spend time getting certified and, going to class in the pool and everything. It's a big thing from what I understand.
I know some people that are into it, and I see them on Facebook and stuff, and it's amazing adventures they're doing. It's a husband and wife team I know up here in Tahoe, and people scuba dive in Tahoe a lot too. There's a lot of shipwrecks out there and whatnot, and you'll see the little flag floating in the water saying scuba diver below.
Right.
I think if I was in a resort setting and it was a shallow area, I'd probably give it a try. But to truly go down deep, like that just I don't know if claustrophobic's the right word, but boy, that gives me anxiety to think about being that deep. And if you misbreathe or anything goes wrong, like you can't just rush to the surface.
Oh, dude, I watch Bering Sea Gold. In the winter, they dive. When they are down there under the ice of the Bering Sea, it's put so much fear and anxiety into me just watching it on TV, where I know they are obviously going to live, right? Or I would have heard about it.
Yeah, maybe. Depends how famous they are. But yeah.
But I mean, seeing them when they, maybe the respirator freezes or gets ice in it or something and it blocks the line, them trying to figure out getting up and through a little hole in the ice.
Yeah.
Boy, dude. No, not for me, dude.
No,
sunny tropical resort, baby. But otherwise, a fun fact, and don't Google it. Do you guys know that scuba is it's an acronym? Do you know what it stands for?
Yes.
What does it stand for? I know Brewski knows this with his vast, useless knowledge.
God, dude, give me a hint for the first word.
Starts with an S.
I understand that, dude.
Self.
Okay, self. Now we go C.
Yep.
Okay, what's the C? Underwater breathing apparatus. I know is how it ends. Okay.
Self-contained.
Contained. Okay. Self-contained.
Yeah. I didn't know that for a long time. The scuba was an acronym, so there you go. But yeah. Nope. All right. Well, that's interesting that none of us have tried that. So we were talking last episode about the fact that I have very limited East Coast experience. I grew up in the Midwest, which some people consider the eastern part of the country, which I guess it is, but that's not an East Coast experience. I've been to Boston once when I was a teenager. I was there for like a month when my dad lived there. I was in the Cambridge area.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
That's my main East Coast experience. I think I was in a wedding in Philadelphia once for like 5 seconds, but I've always wanted to go to New York City. Being a Marvel Comics fan, I've worshipped New York since a kid. All of, that's where the Marvel world is centered out of. That's where Spider-Man lives and all that stuff. So I've always had a fascination with New York City, but I've never been. And the next thing on this list, things that we assume everyone has done, but few actually have, is seeing a Broadway play. I never have, because I've never been to New York City, obviously. I've never even seen one in the West End in London or something. So, guys, have we seen Broadway plays?
I think I've only seen off-Broadway work, to be honest with you, dude.
Oh, that's very hipster of you.
Yeah, I mean, and just because that's all I've ever been able to afford.
Right, or get tickets for.
Get tickets for, so.
Yeah, Brewski?
As far as seeing a play in New York City on Broadway, no. I've seen Broadway productions here in Boston.
That's fair. Yeah, as have I, the traveling version. But
yeah, exactly. Because you saw Hamilton, didn't you?
My kids saw it. Neo saw it. I did not go with them. But
okay.
What did I just see? Oh, no, I'm blanking. I just saw some off Broadway touring production, but
Heather's did.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of good stuff. I know a lot about Broadway because Neo is a gigantic Broadway fan and wants to go into that for a career and whatnot. So I probably know more about Broadway than the average person. We were talking about Back to the Future references. I think that was last episode, but there's a Back to the Future Broadway play, right?
Yeah, yes. Dude, the guy who's playing Marty McFly looks just like him.
Oh, really? Nice.
Yeah.
I mean, there's been a ton of good ones. I saw the SpongeBob. I've seen some of these musicals. Like, I've seen Hamilton, the Broadway performance, but on TV.
Okay.
Right.
Same, Nickelodeon did the SpongeBob musical on Broadway, which I thought would have been ridiculous. It was so fun and entertaining.
It was? I would think that would be so stupid and annoying, dude.
You would, but think it's colorful and the sets and all of this. Like, it's all about the premise. Like, what do you do with it? You can take any stupid premise, and if you do something good. I mean, rapping founding fathers, that sounds ridiculous. But that's what Hamilton is. I mean, if you do it well, it could be good. So
people love that Hamilton, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, no. So, but no, I've never actually seen a Broadway play. So.
All right. So we're Trace times pathetic?
Apparently, right now. None of us have done any of these things that we assume other people have done. Here's a good one, too. I feel like everyone's done this. Gone camping in the wilderness. Like, not just the campground at the intersection down to town or something, but have you actually gone out in the wilderness camping?
Yeah, obviously.
Come
on, dude. I live in the Pacific Northwest. You don't think I've been camping in the wilderness?
Right. And that's the funny thing. I've had limited experiences. I did do it in the Pacific Northwest out at Lake Chelan once. And northern Michigan, I've done it when I was a kid a couple of times, but that is a common thing, though. I don't think a lot of people have actually gone camping. I was watching some TV show the other day where the dad was like, "Oh, we love camping," and the kids were like, "We've never gone camping." He's like, "But we talk about it a lot."
I mean, is camping only like tent or no tent at all out in the wilderness, or is it like taking a trailer? And
I would say a tent for sure is fine.
Yeah.
But trailer's borderline, but did you go out in the wilderness and sleep out there for a day or two? Like, the more glamping you get, the less credit you get, but that's still, at least you're still out there.
You guys ever go camping and just completely under the stars? Like you just have like a little bedroll on the grass or dirt?
No. I have had more than one woman talk to me about that we should go sleep under the stars. I'm like, did I lose the house? Why would I go sleep under a tent? Yeah, but just free sleep outside.
First of all, it's fascinating. Okay, and with the stars that you have in Tahoe, because you have no light pollution, I mean, the sky looks so much bigger where you are. When I left you and came home, it was clear as a bell out here. And we have zero, I have none of the sky you have.
Interesting.
None of it, dude.
I know.
And if I had it, I'd sleep under it.
Interesting. Don't you freeze at some point, or were you?
No, I mean, you're going to sleep in the summer, 70 degrees. You think a tent keeps you warm,
Well, sleeping bags, all that. You're right. So, but yeah, no, never done that.
Brewski?
Well, the closest I've ever come to that, and this probably doesn't count, but I once went to watch a movie up at Seattle Center, on the grass there.
On the grassy knoll.
I got really drunk, and I passed out and woke up at like 3 a.m.
Oh, you were sleeping outside. Okay.
Yes, dude. I'll give you partial credit.
Okay, all right.
Okay. I thought you were going to say you just watched a movie outside, but if you slept out there,
well, I kind of passed out, so it wasn't like I was actively trying to sleep. But it was a warm night, and the movie was going, and I was
you were sawing logs, dude. You did it.
My last camping
nobody was around me.
Yeah. No, hey, that's pretty much camping, getting drunk and sleeping outside, right? I mean,
yes.
So, all right. Maybe credit that one. Speaking of that, my last real camping experience at Lake Chelan in Washington, that's ruined me for Jack Daniels. Jack Daniels used to be my go-to drink. Jack and Coke, that's what I always drank. And that night, I was out with my sister and brother-in-law and my girlfriend at the time and some other people that were with us. And I drank I don't know. I drink a bottle of Jack Daniels by myself. Not the biggest one, but one of the smaller sized.
Yeah.
But that's still way too much for me. And it got to the point where like 4 a.m, I'm out there trying to gag myself to make myself puke because I was just spinning drunk and just miserable drunk. I just wanted it out of me.
Yeah.
Not only have I never drank Jack Daniels since then, but I broke my gag reflex that night. Like if you put something in my mouth, and I'm not looking at you boys, but like, like if you get a strep throat test at the doctor where they stick the swab in the back of your throat, I will gag excessively and or throw up on someone if they do stuff like that. Like I broke my gag reflex that night. It's not easy to make yourself puke. Have you ever tried that?
Yes. Yeah.
It's really difficult. You really got to get your hand down in there.
I gag. Sometimes I gag brushing my teeth, dude. I gag super easy. Yeah,
you would be a bad gay man then, but
I would. It's actually a program I took. It's a prison protection program. Like you take the class before you go in.
You want me to puke on that? Then don't sit in here.
Hey, it would keep it extra warm.
Right. Oh, that is a little extra lubricant, I suppose. But I don't know how these models puke so easily. I found it to be very difficult. So yeah, that was my camping experience last time.
All right. So we've all camped. Come on.
Yes. We're going to give Brewski 2/3 credit at least. So how about this? Have you tried a virtual reality headset?
I haven't, dude. I have never put one on.
No, I haven't either.
Interesting. Again, I would assume everyone has done that. Never even like the old arcade style, like when they first kind of came out. You never done any of that stuff, huh?
When did they first come out? Are we talking like 5 years, 6 years?
I mean, like
years?
back in the 90s and stuff. There were some arcades that had these big awkward things you could stick on. It was like Tron, looking.
Oh, I suppose I've done that.
Yeah.
But nothing, I see people online wearing these VR shades, screaming they're going to fall off a building. I mean, they seem very real, or else people are hamming it up. I've never done it, though.
No, they're pretty convincing, quite frankly. I mean, not so much do you think you're in an alternate reality, but it messes with your senses. Crosby has what is it, the Quest or something? Whatever Facebook's virtual reality thing they put out a few years ago. He's got it, and it's a modern VR headset. And I've done a couple of dumb things wearing that before. I have walked into things because... I don't know about your house, but I don't have a room that's just wide open, so you clear out a little space in the living room or something. It's really easy to forget how many steps you've taken or that you've drifted left or right, and all of a sudden you're punching your TV or, walking into a wall or something. Definitely done that. And then he has this other game where you have to climb a wall, and when you start looking up to climb the wall, I mean, it feels like you're doing it, and it was so disorienting for me, I threw the headset off. It made my inner ear spin. Like I felt I was completely disoriented and nauseous.
I don't like that, dude. I don't like to feel that way.
No. And he's gotten good at it, so he doesn't get that motion sickness anymore, but it's definitely a real thing. So
can you watch porno in that?
Yeah.
I wonder about it.
That's a great
They do
question.
have VR porn.
That's a great question.
Does he leave it when he goes to his mom's house? Does he leave it there for you?
That's a good question, too. Usually not, but I'll have to go check his gaming hole downstairs. There. I remember years ago, there was, my kids had some cheap thing where you take your cell phone and you put it inside these goggles.
Yes.
And it's virtual reality, quote unquote. It's really just your phone 6 inches from your face. So,
right.
They make some games that are immersive. So I guess on those you could have gone on, Pornhub or whatever. But
I want to be able to play, I want to be able to have fun in my own porn in VR.
Well, listen, I could certainly see where it could get to the stage where you're strapping your junk into things that are, creating warming or touching.
Ew, dude, it's so gross to me, but maybe it's the future.
Oh, it's definitely going to go that way. So at that point, we will have all tried it, but apparently not as of now.
All right. What else is on that list?
All right. So we're talking about things that you assume everyone has done, but few people have. And so far, we're not doing super well on this list. So how about this one? Have you ever traveled outside your home country? Now,
Yes.
Nick, I know you have. We were just talking about the fact that you were in Mexico last week, but
Sure.
what is the definition? Does Canada count? I mean, that's outside of our country, right?
Yeah.
But some would say, like, what, you drove there? That doesn't count. If you can walk there, then that's not another country. But
It's like Brewski was saying. Some places you go like Canada. It's you went to Canada. That's cool, but I mean, it's not. If you didn't leave the continent, then maybe it's not that big of a deal.
Does Hawaii count then? That's leaving the continent. It's not another country.
But that's still part of the country, though.
Right. I think you certainly deserve more credit the further away you're going or the deeper into some other continent you're getting.
Yeah.
But, I mean, technically, I've been to Canada. I've been to Mexico. I have been to the Bahamas. I've been to England. So I've left the country for sure. And England is probably the most credible of those, as far as actually traveling somewhere. But, the rest of Europe, Asia, Australia, I mean, there's a whole bunch. The Mediterranean that I would love to go to that I have not. But, I don't know. Brewski, what's your map? Where have you been?
So obviously Canada, that was the first one to go visit my family in Prince Edward Island. And then I've been to Amsterdam and
that's good.
And also to France. I was 2 weeks in Paris. So
wow. Yeah.
Did you have sex in Amsterdam? No.
I was there very short, very, very briefly.
And also
I
was
with my girlfriend at the time too. What's that?
I was asking if Nick meant hookers or just hooked up with whoever you were traveling with.
No, hookers. Yeah, just red light.
I know if I was a single guy, I probably would have. Why not?
Yeah, right. Yeah, no reason not to.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I got a little handy action on a train in England. That was fun.
Oh, that's nice.
From a hooker?
No, from my girlfriend.
Oh, okay. All right.
We were traveling out to Stonehenge, and that woman, Laura, I mean, she got weirdly horny sometimes, like in bizarre scenarios. We would be at the radio station, and she'd like pull me in some empty office and just go at it. But then we wouldn't have sex for like 3 months or something. Like she was weird that way. But yeah, we were on a train going out to Bath, and she just starts going at it under her coat there on me. I'm like, all right, cool.
Wow, dude. Did you finish?
Oh yeah.
Tell me the logistics of that. There was a tissue involved? Or?
No, just made a direct deposit and had to sit with it, but it was worth it of me. So
yeah. Were your parents there?
Yeah, it's in the Harness photo album. I did go with the whole family, but then Laura and I took off for a couple of days to go out to Bath and Stonehenge and all that stuff. So.
Yeah. All right.
But yeah, besides that, Nick, what's your map? You've got way more than both of us.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't even know my own map, dude. The furthest I've been away, I guess probably the most legit is probably Dubai. That was interesting. I mean, everywhere I've been, from Croatia, to Spain to Greece. Thank you, Brewski. To Germany. But like in Germany, I've only been there through a layover, 24-hour layover. So I was only in Frankfurt, which they say that's the financial district. Really no reason to go to Frankfurt, So I haven't seen Germany, and I need to do that. But yeah, Dubai is probably the longest flight from point A to B, back to the States that I've been on.
Have you been to South America? I know you've been to Central America, but you've gone south?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah. Well, we do have a listener in South America now, so
you have a bungalow we can use.
I still love the story about the unsatisfactory Airbnb that Nick encountered in England.
Oh, dude, it was the absolute worst, man. Gosh.
What were the highlights or lowlights of that one?
Well, first of all, I'm taking my niece is with us. So like normally Rachel and I will stay in a subpar place if it's a little dangerous and it's just for a night. Like we don't mind, but we had my niece with us. So we were like, oh, we can't stay here. And it was so gross, dude. I mean, we found a secret bedroom. First of all, the owner lived in that house and then just had a secret bedroom, and then she would rent her house out, and then when the people leave, she'd go move back in. Wow, nice. We found the secret bedroom. It was literally like a wall that like you pushed and a magnet ejected, and it came open. There
Neverland Ranch style here. Huh?
Oh, dude, it was so foul that the bed was not made, and it had tons of cereal and chips, and there was food everywhere, but there were wigs everywhere in that whole place.
Yeah, nice.
The bed my niece was supposed to sleep on was a pull-out couch, and the mattress was probably less than 2 inches thick. Okay. And it was just so squished and dirty, dude. And it had hair all over it. This woman just shed around this house.
Are you worried about cameras in Airbnbs? Because I've seen so many YouTube videos about people discovering hidden cameras in their rentals.
Seems to be happening a lot. I am not so much concerned for myself, but it worries me that Rachel goes so many places, and I would hate for her to feel like she had total privacy and she didn't, when she's out of town.
Have you ever gotten busy in an Airbnb and wondered if someone's filming me right now?
Not until this moment. I've never thought that.
Well, you should look at Pornhub for a keyword. See what you find.
Maybe I should, dude. I've been looking at those camera detectors for hotel rooms, so I don't know why you couldn't use it for an Airbnb too.
Yeah, that's what I see. People scanning hotel rooms, and it's usually in some vent up top or behind a mirror, or it's there to be spying on you. So
in the bathroom. Oof.
Yeah, fun stuff. All right. Next thing on the list, things you assume everyone has done, but few actually have. And I've been thinking about this one recently with my kids. Breaking a bone, like full on breaking a bone. Who here has broken an arm, a leg, something?
I have.
What'd you break?
A wrist, this pinky finger. Believe it or not, I broke this where it got really bloody really fast. I got hit with a baseball and it knocked the fingernail completely off and blood was shooting everywhere. And
it actually broke the bone of the finger.
Yeah, that's why it's kind of a weird shape, because it healed weird. It's broken angle wise and that sort of thing. And so stuff like that.
Yeah.
Nick, actual broken bones.
No, knock on wood. I've never broken a bone, dude.
Interesting.
Yeah.
See, when I was 5 years old, I tumbled down a hill, some rough house with neighborhood kids and whatnot. And I broke my arm, like full on broke. And I have relatively vivid memories of my sister getting me back to my house and my mom freaking out and getting me to the hospital. And all
Did you have a cast on your body?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Did people sign it?
Yep. Oh, yeah. No, this was a full-on broken arm, cast shoulder all the way down to my wrist. And, yeah, everyone in school signing in, all that kind of stuff.
You remember when we were kids, dude, that cast you wore on your arm looked like, it was all white, first of all, and it looked like somebody made at home.
Yeah. It was plaster. Like later in life, they made that wrapped, and the wrap, solidified or whatever. But, yeah. So, yeah, I did that. That was my only kind of like real full-on bone break. I had a stress fracture in my foot in high school from running cross country so much. Like I ran so much that a bone in my foot broke. That tells you you're running too much.
Yeah.
And then I re-injured that same thing a couple of years ago. I don't know what I was doing, but I could feel the bone was, but that's like a hairline fracture. And it didn't require a cast, like a walking cast or something. But
Steve tried to serve the military, dude. That's why he couldn't even get in, was because his foot.
Yes, so. I had a little bone spur going on.
Yes, he did.
But yeah, I've been thinking about it with my kids where like, when I was 5, I broke my arm. When I was 10, I sprained one really badly. And same at 15, I crashed my BMX bike and I had like a splint on for like a couple of weeks. But I have yet to rush either of my kids to the emergency room. And I hesitate to say that, right?
Knock on it, dude. Knock on that wood. Serious.
Knock on some wood. Do you know why we knock on wood, by the way? Do you know where that comes from?
No.
Tell us, please.
The old theory was that there are ghosts around us. And if they hear you say something like that, like, gee, I hope I don't trip down the stairs, that the ghost will trip you down the stairs. So if you knock on wood, you're scaring the ghosts away. And then it's safe to say whatever it is you want to say.
Oh, so you got to knock on wood first, dude.
Right. You a-hole ghosts. What's your problem?
Bastards.
So yeah, have yet to rush my kids to the ER with broken bones or things like that.
What about stitches?
I've had so many.
Yeah, I was gonna say I had stitches on my eyebrow once. I split my head open up here once that I had stitches on. So a couple of those. I've had a few black eyes in life too, like full on.
Yeah. Well, I've had stitches. I've had stitches like you wouldn't believe. I've had
surgeries or for injuries.
Both. The back of my right calf, I actually ripped that entirely wide open. My entire calf was hanging out at the back of my leg.
Ew. How? Why?
Why would you do that?
I did it on a parked car, if you can believe that.
No.
License plate holder on the front of a car. And we were playing ball tag, and somebody threw the ball at me, and I caught it, but then I fell backwards. And when I did, as I fell backwards, it completely ripped my calf wide all the way open.
Oh, like filleted you, huh? Wow.
Yeah, and it was all hanging out and that sort of thing. And then I ripped my bicep open on a fence.
What?
My hand.
Why are your muscles falling out of your body?
I have a scar on my left eye from a fight when I was 8 years old, and I was fighting my friend's 15-year-old brother, and he busted my eye open.
Did you get him in the end?
I mean, I was fighting back, but
yeah. Did he go to the hospital?
You're fighting a teenager, for God's sakes. You know what I mean? And
yeah.
So
we should find that kid, dude.
The thing about your eyebrow is that it's real easy to bust your eyebrow open because there's not a lot of flesh there. Yeah, and if you take enough punches there, it'll just bust open. And then, of course, we all know about my chest here, my device.
Yeah. Brewski's got a pacemaker in his chest.
The first time I got that, they put staples in my chest.
Yeah. And when was that? 1927, dude?
No, it was 2000, but they put staples in my chest. And I kept saying to myself, I'm not going to take pain pills. I can handle it. After about a day and a half of those staples rubbing against every nerve ending in my pectoral muscle, I broke down and I started taking pain pills.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah. That's awful, dude. Dude, I'll tell you my stitches. Okay?
Yeah.
Brewski will like this one. I must have been 9 or 10 years old, 8, 9 years old. Maybe I was 8 years old. Okay. We were watching professional wrestling, WWF.
Yeah.
And I am with a buddy. This buddy picks me up over his shoulders and he's going to body slam me on the couch.
Oh, boy.
Well, he goes to body slam me on the couch, and I bounce off of the couch, and I land on a brick fireplace right on the corner of the mantle of this brick fireplace, and it gets stuck in my head.
Oh, no.
Yeah, they had to pull me off of it. I was stuck to it.
You impaled yourself on a brick corner.
Yeah, and then
your head. That's how you die, by the way. Like,
dude, isn't that crazy? I was just like, man, we are resilient as people because I should have, at least been a little dumber than I am.
You may have been like, genius, and this is how you are now. You're just normal. So
true, dude. That's what I mean. They rushed me to the hospital. I got a lot of stitches. Oh yeah, dude. I was laying on my next door neighbor got in the car to take us, so my mom could hold a washcloth on my head because I couldn't stop bleeding. A head bleeds a lot, dude.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
The next time I got stitches, I was actually at a cabin up on a mountain, Snoqualmie Pass. Okay.
Oh.
Me and a buddy are up there. We see a homeless man up there that has probably maybe been out in the forest for, I don't know, looked like a year, dude. The guy was filthy. He was hairy, beard, long hair. Like he was scary to a little kid.
That mountain man. We
see him and start running down the hill toward our cabin. And I slip and kind of go down on my back and stop myself with my arms. And then I get up, keep running. Well, at some point we get down the hill and I'm breathing heavy. I put my arms up over my head and I am bloody all over my arm and my skin on my, what's this called right here?
Forearm.
Yeah. Hanging open, dude. Like, probably 6.5 inches of it, just a flat back. And I can see everything inside.
Oh my God.
Dude, I went down. There was a root coming out from under the ground. And when I fell, I dragged myself to a stop and it went right into my arm and split it open.
Wow.
Harsh. I'm glad you could have nicked an artery there. Jeez. I mean,
they were so worried about it. I was way up in the mountains. They didn't even take me to the hospital, dude. They took me to the closest place possible was a veterinarian. And had a veterinarian close me up, dude.
Wow. A veterinarian.
That's hardcore.
Isn't that something, dude? I mean, I still got that one still I could see a scar, on my arm from it. But yeah, that vet sewed me up and I mean, I was back by 7.
That's hilarious. That is a mob movie kind of thing. Like, we can't go to a real doctor.
Fix him up, Frankie.
Right. Wow. Interesting. All right. Well, good. We've all had some experiences there. Only 2 out of 3 broken bones, though, for the technical chart.
Sure.
All right. The next one, things you assume everyone has done, but few actually have. This is interesting because I hate to admit to this, but have you read a classic novel? Moby Dick or what? I don't know. Some old classic novel.
Gone with the Wind?
Was that a novel? I don't even know.
Yes, it is.
I thought it was a movie. Who knows?
Johnny actually and Ponyboy read it to each other when they're hanging out in the church in Windrixville after they killed Bob the Sosha.
From Outsiders? Is that what that
Exactly.
is?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So, all right, guys, have we read a classic novel?
I think I probably have in high school.
That would be my only saving grace, actually. Like Lord of the Flies or Grapes of Wrath. I guess I did actually have to read those in high school.
Read
All right.
Gatsby. I mean, I read,
Now I feel educated and hip, because here's the thing. I don't read. I mean, I read news articles and things like that all the time, but I don't pick up books and read them ever. I mean, I've read Howard Stern's books because I'm just such a mega fan, but that's how much of a fan I have to be to sit down and pick up a book.
Yeah,
just words and words and boring to me. And I have ADD to some level. Like I'm 2 pages into something and I realize like I've been reading this, but I'm not absorbing it. I'm thinking about what I have to do after this or whatever. Like,
sure, you got to find something you care about. Rachel reads, daily when she gets home from work. If she takes a bath, she reads. Before she goes to bed, she reads. She's always reading, and she gets into those books more so than movies, I think it takes a certain mind to be able to read a certain way.
Apparently. I mean, Rachel's a professional lawyer, so that makes sense that her brain would work in that sort of detail-oriented way. We're obnoxious radio podcast hosts, and I just want to watch Star Wars. I don't want to read something.
Also, though, Brewski, he reads books and writes them. He's a Brewski. How's your book, dude?
I actually have gone in and I submitted it to a few publishers. Nobody's gotten back to me yet.
All right.
I've gone in, and it's funny you asked that. I was actually editing one of my chapters today because I'm cleaning it up a little bit more to submit it to some other publishers. When you edit anything, is it ever really fully done? Right. Don't you always say, even when you're editing audio, you're like, I could probably tweak this and tweak that.
Sure. It's never
an artist problem. You overwork your stuff because when is it really done? So, so you're somebody who's written a book, but you sat down recreationally and read classic novels?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
But also I will tell you that I've also read some kind of trashy stuff too. Like I read a book called Glow, which is the biography of Rick James.
Oh, yeah, okay.
You want to talk about some amazing stories.
Oh, I bet.
I don't doubt any one of them for 1 minute.
Nick, any classic novels in your downtime, but not required for a grade?
You know what? The last book that I read that was anywhere close to that would have been Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance. And that's a great book that I've read a couple of times.
Well, I've never heard of that. I should read that apparently.
No, it's a good book. Yeah.
Yeah, you should read that book. You'd probably like it. It's, a metaphor for life. And
have they made a movie? I mean, can we just crank these things out?
No.
I've had people make fun of me for this, and I'm going to stand by it. I hate old black and white movies. They are slow. They are boring. I don't like that it's in black and white. Like, it's torture to me.
That's terrible, dude.
I like a lot of older black and white stuff.
Yeah, most people do. I don't.
I mean, but TV shows, some movies, like the old Twilight Zone episodes.
Yeah. You don't find it nostalgic to sit down and watch an old black and white?
I have watched Leave It to Beaver in black and white or some old Twilight Zones, but I'm talking a 2-hour movie, like sitting down. What was the White Christmas?
Miracle on.
No, you're thinking about what do you call it? It's a Wonderful Life, maybe?
No, like the classic Christmas movie with Bing Crosby's in it. And it's White Christmas, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Where they go to the ski resort in Vermont. The Hindenburg loved that freaking movie. Every Christmas we spent together, I would sit there and just smile and nod as I was torturing myself watching this slow ass, old school, lame, boring, no drama, black and white movie.
It's funny,
it's
dude.
a classic. It's classically boring as crap. I'll tell you that much.
So many people, I myself included, like part of the reason I go back to those is not only obviously the nostalgia of just seeing it, but I just remember growing up, my dad watching all those movies and making me watch them with him.
Yeah.
And so it's turned into more of like, oh, it just reminds me of my dad, so I'll watch them. So
I see.
Well, I mean, my sister and I went to go see Casablanca on the big screen at a local movie theater in Harvard Square, kind of art house movie theater and that sort of thing. And I had never seen it on the big screen. And I wanted to see it in that format.
To each his own, but all right, there you go. So, so basically, Brewski's read a classic novel. Nick and I only have Under Duress. So. All right, next thing on the list, things that you assume everyone has done, but few actually have. This one would be shocking to me if none of us, if all three of us even, eating sushi. Now, I will tell you, I went 45 years of this existence on this planet without ever eating sushi, 40 at least. And then I kind of stumbled into it. I love sushi now. Like, that to me is a treat to go eat sushi.
Oh, yeah, dude. Sushi is one of the great pleasures in life.
Yeah. And I don't necessarily mean the fishiest stuff. I mean, some raw eel and stuff, maybe, whatever is fine. But yeah, there's California rolls and everything else. I mean, there's a wide variety of sushi nowadays. And I like it all. I think it's like birthday dinner sort of special treat because it ain't cheap, that's for sure.
Yeah. My philosophy on sushi is I love sushi. You got to go to the right place. I mean, there are great sushi restaurants and really bad sushi restaurants, and I will not eat at a bad one.
So you're saying that day old warm sushi at a gas station, probably not a good spot.
Yeah, I'm not saying I haven't done it before, but I wouldn't recommend it.
I will say I do my grocery store sushi every now and again, and not as some fancy treat, but like literally last night I made chicken rice bowls for Neo and I. Put some soy sauce in there, and then I just get, for just a little side thing, the grocery store sushi that they do make it there.
Yeah.
But that's not real sushi. Like going to a nice restaurant around here and having, just well done sushi, that is such a treat.
So cool.
I did go to one in the Carson Valley here, and I walk into the sushi restaurant down in hillbilly redneck land there, and the chef at the counter was Asian, and I'm like, all right, so they found the only Asian guy in the Carson Valley, and he's working at the sushi place.
Right.
I'm going to assume this will be good then. It was disgusting. So,
yeah.
Left halfway through that meal and have never been back. So you do have to go to the right place. But
dude, I was so excited when we were in Mexico. They had, at the resort we were staying at, they had different restaurants on the property. They had a Mexican, they had, all this, but they had an Asian restaurant. And I thought, oh, that's cool. The lady said, oh, it's kind of like a teppanyaki. So it's kind of like a Benihana, but they also serve sushi. And I thought, oh, that's awesome. They have a sushi bar too. And she was like, yeah, it's really good. So we went there on our last night. I ordered a roll of sushi to start the night off with, and they brought it to my table, dude. And I almost didn't even try it based on what it looked like. It looked that sketchy, bad, and just awful.
Some Mexican sushi, huh?
I take a bite of it, and the guy who delivered it, by the way, I mean, he brought the sushi chef brought it over to our table, and yeah, he was Asian guy that's made sushi for a long time, from what he said. So he was a Japanese dude. So he gives it to me, and I think, oh, I guess I'll taste it, dude. It was putrid. It was so bad.
Harsh.
I won't eat bad sushi.
Yeah, there's really no point. We have an all-you-can-eat sushi place up here that sounds like utopia for me, but it's got to be good, just like a buffet at a resort. Like, if they have sushi, that's great, but only if it's good sushi. Otherwise,
sure.
All-you-can-eat garbage. Why do you want that?
You like sushi, Brewski?
It's not my first choice. The Jen loved it, and so I'd go with her, and there were a few things that I would eat, mostly real boring stuff like taco.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm
but
not
you've
big
had sushi.
Yeah, and I'm not big on the seaweed. It just doesn't do it for me.
Yeah.
I just get the fish itself on the rice.
Yeah.
Right. To me, sushi is the combination of everything. Because any of those elements individually, just like a piece of raw fish, I would never eat that. But if you put it with the rice and the other herbs and flavorings and, everything together, then it creates a, amazing experience for your
Sushi.
Mouth. Yes, exactly. So the next one on the list, you may laugh at this, but I'll have a follow-up for you here. Things that we assume everyone has done, but few actually have. This is stretching it, but have seen snow in person.
It's ridiculous, dude. Who hasn't seen snow in person?
Okay.
You'd be surprised.
You would be. And I see it a lot where I live. So let me tell you, I live in the mountains of Lake Tahoe, and obviously we got plenty of snow here. I cannot tell you how many spots there are driving up to Lake Tahoe where as soon as they hit the elevation where there's snow, people pull over their cars and they just go frolic in it. Because these are Southern California people that are driving up here, and they either have never seen snow or rarely ever get to see it. So as soon as there's a trace amount of snow, they're out playing in it. I'm always like, drive 30 more minutes. We got a mountain full of this stuff. Like, I don't know why you're playing in that dirty snow on the side of the road. It happens all the time. People are so excited to finally see some snow. They get out and play in it.
So weird, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't even imagine because everywhere you go, you can pretty much get to somewhere where it snows within a couple hours.
Sure. But what if you were born and raised in Florida? There's no snow anywhere around that area.
Or Hawaii or,
yeah, exactly. So there are, if you grew up in Texas or whatever, you may not have seen snow ever. It's a novelty to travel somewhere where there's snow to some people.
Well, Texas sees snow, dude. I mean,
every now and again,
Hawaii sees snow, so
a little bit, but yeah. So, all right. I'm glad we're all cultured enough to have seen snow.
Yeah.
You know what the big thing is the ocean. There's a lot of people who haven't seen the ocean. That makes more sense to me.
Interesting.
When my brother, came from Omaha and brought his son with him, he's 15 years old, never seen the ocean. Never seen the ocean?
Yeah. I mean, growing up in Michigan, we used to travel to Florida. That would have been my only real ocean experience, and then going to Boston when I was a teenager. But yeah, if you don't live near an ocean, you got to travel for it, and a lot of people don't travel. One of the things on this list that I skipped because I find it ridiculous is, have you ever been on an airplane? Like, there are people that haven't been on an airplane.
Yeah.
If you ever been on a plane, you're limited to only what you can drive to. So I would imagine maybe you haven't seen snow or an ocean if you've never been on an airplane.
I guess so, dude. Not everyone lives the same.
Right. So, yeah. And like I said at the start of this to me is bucket list stuff. If you've never seen snow, never been on an airplane, like, yeah, you actually are missing out in this world. So probably go experience those things. Same with the next thing on the this list. I can't believe this is on here. Attended a live concert.
Oh, well, I mean, we know we all have, but yeah, like, what are you doing with your life? Isn't that like on your big time list? Like, that's important, right?
I've always argued that the one thing everyone likes, it's a short list, and probably the only thing on it is music. We all like different types of music.
Yeah.
I've never met anyone who's like, no form of music ever. I don't like even a commercial jingle. I don't want to hear any of it. Like,
none of it.
Everyone likes music. So yeah, you've never gone to a live concert. Like, that blows my mind.
I do know that there's definitely people who find concerts more important than others, but just to have never seen a concert, I mean, that's why people always ask you, like, what was your first concert? Because we assume everyone's gone to a concert on some level. I went to a concert that the firemen used to sell tickets for the firemen's ball, that was, you've at least been to a concert like that, haven't you?
You would think. But I think a full-on, legitimate, touring artist, like, it makes me sad for you. If you're out there listening and you think, I've never been to a concert, you really should. It's quite
go to the state fair. There's always at least somebody you can find that might be playing.
Exactly. And I've been to some sober concert experiences, I guess. But really, concerts are more fun to actually go have fun and party and, so.
Enjoy yourself.
Yes.
Yeah, if you've never seen a concert and you have a little bit of money, and you got a nice body and you're a little sexy, then Steve will take you to a concert just to show you how you get in line and submit the tickets.
Right. I'm a fun concert goer. I have fun out there. So.
I've been to a concert with you. Brewski's been to a concert.
I've been to a
Brewski tried to
concert.
attack you at a concert, dude.
Wait, what?
No.
Brewski tried to attack you at a concert?
No.
He tried to attack me at a radio station event.
Yeah, that was different. I know. No.
He saved me at a concert where I was about to be arrested.
That's what he did. I knew he did something.
Steve was placed in my custody.
Yeah, I got caught smoking pot at a concert. I was
at the Gorge, no less.
Right, the Pearl Jam. Yeah, security busted me, and they're like, "We're turning you into your boss." I'm like, "Oh, his name's Brewski. He's right over there."
He's right over there, exactly. And they come back. They come back, and the guy's on a dirt bike, and Steve's walking in front of him, and he's just like, "This is your employee. I caught him smoking weed," and I was just like, "You shouldn't have done that." Right. I'll take care of it from here.
Yeah, I got this from here.
Yeah. And the guy leaves, and I'm just like, all right, whatever. We
all started cracking up. So funny.
Yeah, exactly.
You've messed up anytime you're been put in Brewski's custody, dude.
It's classic though. So. Here's another one. Especially Nick being from Seattle, you may find this preposterous, but some people have never tasted coffee. And again, like sushi, I spent 40 years on this planet not drinking coffee, and then all of a sudden, I just got into it, and now I've got a cup of coffee sitting right here now. But
yeah, that's weird though. You're on. I would think that's rare, Steve. I mean, the fact that you didn't try coffee until this late in life that's weird.
I think it is abnormal. I will say I've heard Bill Maher on some of his spiels say the same thing. Like in his 50s, he discovered coffee, and now he can't get out of bed without it. It's a ritual. He loves it. But he went all these years never trying coffee, and I was the same way, basically.
What was the reasoning behind you not trying coffee?
Well, maybe part of it is growing up, my mom had, I would make her coffee, and it was that instant Folger stuff that you just put hot water in. I just thought that was disgusting, but she loved it. When I first moved to Seattle and I was working overnights at the radio station and daytime at a pawn shop, I did start drinking Starbucks, but it turned my teeth brown. And so I stopped quickly. I now realize I must not have brushed my teeth very well back then because I drink coffee all the time now. My teeth aren't brown at all.
But, you just got to brush them, dude.
Yeah, I tried. Yeah, apparently I was just not brushing or flossing very well. So I stopped, and then I went until age 40. And there was one very distinct day. I remember it well. It was the end of the month. I had a bunch of work to do, so I was up late, and I got up early that next morning, and I called Nick, and I was like, dude, I am dragging. How do I order coffee at Starbucks? Like, what's the terms? Tell me.
And you were hooked, dude. You never stopped after that.
Since then, I lived at Starbucks for a while and then finally started making my own coffee and everything. So,
Brewski, you just don't like coffee.
If I go to dinner with folks and people order dessert, you might have a cup of coffee with because the coffee with a piece of chocolate cake, they kind of play off each other, you know?
Sure.
But yeah, I'm just not a coffee fan. And I will tell you, as far as Starbucks goes, I refuse to use their lingo.
Right.
Give me a small, medium, and large.
Yes. And, it's so funny you bring that up because when Nick got me back into that world, he taught me, go in, order a venti mocha hot, triple shot. I was like, all right, venti mocha hot. I wrote it down, so I can sound like I know what I was talking about. But then I went to another local coffee house here in Tahoe, and I go up. I'm like, I need a venti mocha. And they did the classic coffee house thing with me. They were just like, sorry, what? I'm like, a venti mocha. They're like, I don't know what a venti is. Obviously, they know what I'm talking about. But
small, medium, or large.
I didn't know that was a Starbucks only thing. I thought that's how the whole coffee world worked.
No, it's not all
Italy.
fancy and stuff.
Right.
It's Italian, dude.
Why can't they just have small, medium, large, extra large? Where did the hell did that come from?
Because they're
it's
all
Italian, dude.
Because they're all what do you call it? They're snobs. That's why they're all pretentious.
And when did the coffee industry stand up and go, you know what, Starbucks, you can venti all you want. We're large is here. Screw you.
Hey, but I grew up here with Dunkin' Donuts, and it's small, medium, large, and then they used to have a giant. I'm not sure if they still do, but they have a giant coffee, which is this massive thing.
I think Starbucks has nothing to be ashamed of. I mean, this is a company that is worth so much money now. They've got the world addicted to their coffee.
That's fair. It's hard to criticize them given their global dominance. But yeah, what board meeting was that where they were like, no, not extra large. We're going to be venti. We're going to teach this entire country to order it a venti.
Whenever I used to go get the Gen coffee, I'd always go to a local place because that rat Howard Schultz and what he did selling the Sonics to Clay Bennett.
Yeah.
Bruce, you're so funny.
refuse.
Brewski, whether it's politics or music, you get these little things that annoy you, and then you extrapolate it to the rest of it. Like you hate Hillary because of her support. You hate Metallica because of Lars's drum kit thing.
No, but
now you're like, I hate Starbucks because Howard Schultz sold the basketball team.
You know why? Because he's the one that started Starbucks, and he's still the CEO.
I know, but you're not upset about his coffee product. You're upset that his side venture sold a basketball team, so therefore you won't go drink his coffee.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not putting my money in that rat's pocket.
I think it's hilarious. It's very Brewski, so I appreciate you staying true to yourself. Like
F him.
The last thing I'll throw out on the list here of things that we assume everyone has done, but not everyone has. Seems weird to me, but Nick, you may be in this category. You haven't seen the Star Wars movies. Now, I will say this has become a little unfair. Now there's 9 of them, so maybe you haven't seen all 9, but where are you at with Star Wars?
I've seen all the movies that matter to me are the ones that I bought on VHS, I've seen, what do I have? Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back. I've seen Ewoks, I've seen things happen, but none of this new stuff. Jar Jar.
Let me test your Star Wars nerdiness. What episode numbers were those that you saw?
1, 2, and 3.
Incorrect. That is false, but a good attempt though.
What is it?
I remember being a little kid, and at the beginning of the first Star Wars movie where it says episode 4, going like, what do you mean episode 4? Where are the first 3? Those movies you're talking about are episodes 4, 5, and 6.
Yeah.
Oh, that's why these are all prequels.
Right. Then they went back to the prequels, episodes 1, 2, and 3, and now we've had 7, 8, and 9 come out with the advancing of the story and all that. So if you haven't seen all 9, I actually would not be shocked by that. But if you haven't seen the original 3, quote unquote, then that does look like a massive pop culture void in your knowledge.
Yeah. To me, the original 3 are the best. I didn't like the Jar Jar Binks one, and that's the actual last Star Wars movie I've seen.
You didn't see any of the newest ones with Rey, the female Jedi?
Nope.
They were good.
No desire.
Yeah, I enjoyed them. My kids have mixed reviews on them and stuff, but
yeah,
I've definitely seen all 9. Plus the TV shows that are out now, everything else. So
you're a fan, dude.
I still don't get how the hell BB whatever that robot is, BB5 or something like that. How the hell he
BB-8.
rolls, but his head stays attached to the thing. There's no track for his head to be sitting in.
Well, you know what's fun is they made a remote-controlled version of those BB-8 toys a couple of Christmases ago, and my grandfather, my kid's grandfather, bought them for him for Christmas. Yeah. It's amazing technology. What it is the ball is got internal mechanisms that allows it to roll in every which direction, and the head floats on a magnet. So as the ball rotates, the head always stays on the top, because the ball is rotating underneath the magnet. Okay. So obviously the movie's fake. But I would assume it's some similar type of technology or thought.
It is?
Yeah.
I hate to tell they're not documentaries, but those toys blew my mind. Like, how do you get a ball to roll in every direction and the head always stayed on top? So it is plausible, is my point. Like magnets and whatnot.
Yeah, I don't know. You
ever played with a yo-yo? I mean, there's things that you can't explain.
Slinky. I mean, come
science.
On.
Yeah. So science.
So those are things that we should have done, but some of us haven't. But I think we all fared actually pretty well on the list. So.
I think so.
Doing all right, dude. I mean, we got half the list, and supposedly we're about midlife, so we got some time left, dude. I'll do it.
Brewski, you still may fall in love with coffee still, and Nick, you may watch episodes 7, 8, 9 of Star Wars. Who knows what this world holds for us all.
But one thing we can circle back to if we need to is that this show saves the world. And we appreciate, you guys letting us do it every day. We strap on these boots, we strap on these suits, and we do this program.
The Jedi may have saved a galaxy far, far away, but we're saving this one right here. We're keeping it local.
Right. Join us, won't you?
Exactly.
All right, fellers. Well, we're going to go and take a break for podcasting. So really listen to this one a couple of times and soak it in, and we'll be back when we can.
December is going to be a little shoddy for us between the holidays and other things going on, but we'll be back. We had a couple episodes we're sprinkling throughout the month, so we'll be around.
You're not getting rid of us that easy.
Exactly.
See our webpage, thevocalminority.net. Our socials are there, and you can communicate with the show that way, too. Have a great holiday if we don't talk to you, and good day.
Exactly.
Brewski?
Bye-bye.
And we say bye-bye.
Test 1 2, test 1 2.
Check. Ladies and gentlemen, this is The Vocal Minority with Nick and Steve.
Nick Reynolds, Steve Harness, and Cousin Brewski. The Vocal Minority with Nick and Steve.
Take one.